Oh, this one's got everything. Alcohol, the friend zone, and a big old age gap. Hey friend, dude, buddy pal, check out this old post that I found over on Am I the Antagonist? Am I the antagonist for not accepting the friend zone and lashing out after coming to my senses and realizing that I've been an ass to myself for letting myself be led on? Long rant. Even the title is a long rant, dude. Who's gonna sit there and read all that? Oh, I guess I am. I'm pretty sure that I have my own assholeness to bear in this tale. And I imagine the title condemns me already. Yeah, you nailed that one. Why are you even gonna write it at that point? This happened a while ago, but my anxious mind can't let go of it, and it's turned into bitter, obsessive thoughts I can't get over, and it's... What?
What the hell is even that?
Sure, man. Why proofread any of this? Just make a wall of text and slap it up there. Inevitably, some people will slog through. Sometimes you wish you could just purge it from your mind, you know? They say that writing about something can help you cope, so here we go. Yeah, and this is the version where you try to make yourself look better than her, right? This wasn't something recommended by a therapist, it's just this weirdo running to Reddit for validation. It always goes well. So I, 26 male at the time, met an attractive girl, 19 female, in college. Large age gap, I know. I mean, it's not unworkable, I guess, but yeah, 26 and 19 got pretty different priorities in mind. But if they vibe, maybe it could be okay. But they don't vibe. It was a software development course, so there are hardly any girls, right? Jesus, this is gonna hurt. Cute, fun, immature, sexual, and promiscuous, and flirtatious, possibly a nymphomaniac. He's working himself up over nothing. This is what I imagine about her. Oh, wow. That's awesome, dude. Tell me more things that you made up in your head. A bit of a tomboy, interest-wise, yet feminine. Everyone joked that she had daddy issues, which she felt really self-conscious about. Yeah, I don't know. Truth hurts. Commonly attracted to the bad boys. Had a boyfriend and complained how much he verbally abused her or didn't pay enough attention. A lot of people were kind of shocked to find out that she had one, given how she acted. When you say a lot of people, you mean you specifically, right? Because you've set up this whole narrative in your head that I guarantee doesn't exist. She jokingly winked at you one time and you're like, oh, she wants it bad.
She want me. She want me. She want me.
You're projecting. It's time to go get a job at IMAX. That's how hard you're projecting. Continuing on, surrounded herself with people who supported or enabled and validated her, and flirted with half the men in the class, including a teacher in his mid-40s. I mean, maybe she's discovered that's a good way to get what she wants. Seems to work. If I had that card, I would play it all the time. And I guarantee she's not actually being flirty. It's him reading too much into everything. Great at playing the victim, although I don't doubt she was one. So she wasn't playing then? I was naive myself, and I felt sorry for her, but at the same time, did not trust her. Well, the feeling's mutual, I think. She didn't trust you. For good reason. Because despite you saying that you did all of this for her benefit, I'm gonna go ahead and press X to doubt.
Doubt.
She would say emotionally neglectful or patronizing things to others and did not understand why they were hurtful. She called you fat one time, didn't she? She told you your breath smelled bad. She was doing that as a favor. You should have picked up on the hint. She was not totally cold-hearted and seemed to be longing for an emotionally fulfilling relationship.
Well, isn't that a coincidence? That's OP's expertise. I'm great at emotionally fulfilling relationships. What all this actually means is you sighted in on a vulnerable person and you decided to take advantage. We don't even need to read further. I hate you deeply. Maybe she did some things that might be considered uncouth, but you know, she's 19, dude. That's the time that we get to do those dumb things. This dude is 26. You damn well know better, and you shouldn't have escalated it. Continuing on.
Needy for empathy, yet almost incapable of giving any, yet capable of feeling guilt, especially when those things were pointed out to her. She would push that guilt deep down inside.
All of this is so non-specific. What do you mean she lacked empathy? Because she wouldn't date you? And yeah, she definitely felt guilty about it. She shoved those feelings so deep down inside that nobody even knew they existed. Not even her. Again, this is the narrative that OP has in his head. It's really weird to take a walk around inside there, you know? It's empty, but the things that are in there, it's ugly.
Had a very proud and judgmental gay BFF, 29 male, who acted like a protective parent over her.
Yeah, because he can probably see the type of dude that you are. He's almost 30. He's got it figured out pretty well.
Imagine trying to get a girl while daddy is always watching.
Don't call the gay man daddy, please.
He seemed like a codependent relationship to me. Had a gay friend once who called these kind of men F-gamer slur hags, which was kind of shocking to me.
Yes, I was shocked. I was offended. That's why I've decided to include it in this post. Don't you see? Truth is, he doesn't have a problem with codependent relationships. I think that's exactly what he's looking for. The problem is, she's not having this codependent relationship with him. I'm sure it's only gonna get weirder.
I am blunt, somewhat conflict-seeking, and probably a bit of a contrarian.
Yeah, those are all things that assholes say. As if we didn't have enough confirmation.
And the way I was able to confidently stand up for myself when challenged by others and not get pushed around seemed to attract her.
I'm sure we're using attract very loosely here. She interacted with him once.
I was very conflicted about her and probably guilty myself of leading her on a little.
Whatever you gotta tell yourself, man.
He used lots of other little techniques to build attraction.
Yes, he's using the Dennis system. He's obviously already demonstrated his value. The next step is to engage physically, and hopefully she won't projectile vomit.
This is the kind of stuff you'd probably hear from a pickup artist today that generally mostly work on emotionally damaged girls, but I more or less naturally picked up over the years from my own experience.
Damn, dude, you missed your calling. You could have been one of those pickup artist scumbags. You would never have to approach a girl. Instead, you just approach other guys who can't speak with girls and speak with authority on what to do to approach girls. And they give you a bunch of money.
You gotta make the money first. Then you get the woman.
I don't want to get into details on that.
Yeah, don't give away your big pickup secrets or else. There ain't gonna be no girls left for the rest of us, right, fellas?
I feel a bit manipulative for having done so myself.
I mean, it failed miserably, obviously. I don't think I'd feel that guilty about it.
I think almost every guy pretends to have more confidence or less insecurities when they do when meeting women.
Nah, that's called being a pretender, son. You ain't ever gonna end up in a happy relationship like that. That doesn't mean you want to spill your guts on the first date, but there's a happy medium.
I try to stand my ground and keep my head up and stand up for myself or for what's right most of the time, so I can come off as a bit pretentious as I try to keep myself together under pressure, but put myself in situations where I adopt a lot of responsibility and take a lot of pressure.
What situation? You haven't provided a single fucking example of anything you've said. All of this whole post, citation needed.
Eventually, she started dating another guy her age, male, 19, let's call him Mike. Even though there was a kind of attraction between us, it was mostly platonic.
Between you and Mike? Bro, this is getting juicy. Ooh. Maybe it was the gay BFF he wanted all along. Or his writing just kind of sucks, his syntax is horrible, and he's not as smart as he thinks.
But it couldn't be that, right? My mommy told me I was smart. She got bored with Mike after a week, started nagging on him about the features she didn't like, and chastising him for them, plus suggesting that he buy her jewelry.
Not after a week, bitch. You gotta put your time in.
She was getting frustrated that he didn't initiate any kind of sexual interaction yet.
Did she tell you any of this, or are you just inferring all of it? I know the answer.
Walking right behind me and talking at full volume with her BFF. Maybe they were sending me a message.
Bro, they don't even know that you exist.
Who is he again?
Stop eavesdropping. Just suspend being a creep for at least a few hours, you know?
Her BFF tried to tell her that maybe she should try to initiate something sexual. Couple days later, she starts ghosting him. Cold shoulder treatment. He acts like he doesn't know what's going on. Chases after her like a dog, still thinking he can make things up. But he's in the doghouse, as they say.
Yeah, I guess they do say that. What's the genesis of all this? Mike just doesn't want to bang it out before marriage and she's not into it? Honestly, chadliest move ever on Mike's part, in my opinion. Now that's a boy with convictions. Not a popular stance these days, but the popular thing isn't always the right thing, right?
So at the same time, she starts pursuing me, following me at lunch, while he's following her around trying to fix things, but having no idea how. And maybe not even knowing what he did.
Nobody knows what he did, but if you're gonna presume, I'm gonna presume. Mike's a Chad.
She starts calling Mike a pathetic loser and talking about how she needs someone older and more mature in front of me to send me the message that she was ready to upgrade.
I think you do have some mental issue going on. You just eavesdrop on other people and you're like, that message is meant for me. What? There was no indication of that.
Never broke up with Mike because admitting to the fact that they were dating, kind of, would mean admitting to herself that she was cheating on her longtime boyfriend. She loved bringing up polyamory. She was on to people knowing that she was cheating on her boyfriend and used it as kind of a passive-aggressive defense of her behavior. I'm not sure if that's the right term to describe it.
Yeah, you're not sure of very many terms, are you? And again, the deeper we go into the story, the dirtier she looks, but I'm not really gonna take it as gospel when it's coming from this dude who is quite obviously spurned and has some serious vitriol towards this woman. I'll admit right now that I'm skeptical of polyamory, but I'm pretty sure this isn't polyamory. This is just cheating. If she did it, like I said, I'm sure he's making a bunch of shit up.
A good way to escape the idea and create plausible deniability about her cheating.
The polyamory thing.
A way to avoid feeling guilty and not take responsibility, it seemed to me.
Yeah, nobody's asking you, stupid. This is her own issue to work through and her boyfriend if he decides to stick around, I guess.
No one really believed the idea, and it kind of became an inside joke. I kept my distance, but stupidly enough, still kept occasionally joking around with her in a flirtatious manner.
Bro, what? I kept my distance. No, I didn't. It's basically what you said.
I was stupid and indecisive, and it pissed her off. At one point, I kind of teased her about 90% of her 800 Facebook friends being male, which really pissed her off.
I don't think she cared. I think that was born of your own insecurity. Why are you calculating the percentage of male Facebook friends? You a fucking creep, dude.
I'm probably an ass for being jealous of all those guys myself.
At least you recognize it. I still award no points.
I kind of hinted at why I was not making a move, but she resented me for it. We shared some of the same friends. After this, most of them turned on me, especially after I regretted it, because now I started to get the cold shoulder from most of her friends.
Tell me, OP, elucidate. Why were you not making a move? Probably because there was no move to make. He approached her, she rejected him, their mutual friends decided that he was a creep. That's the actual narrative, but he's trying to twist it into something that makes himself look good. Fascinating. What a scumbag.
Then there was the fact that our final group project pretty much devolved into Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, and you were Piggy. Somebody kill him with a boulder.
Everyone was moody and sleep deprived. I made an easy target because her BFF already hated me for criticizing his precious little innocent girl.
Again, you're projecting. I don't think she said she was any of those things.
Gay BFF saw her sexual and attention addictions as more of form of liberating sexual expression, it seemed.
Yeah, like the Wonder Twins. Form of sexual liberation. Turns into like a strap-on.
He thought that if she just found the right guy, all her issues would magically disappear.
And I bet if he chose you as that right guy, OP, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. You'd be like, that's great. I bet I can make all your issues disappear. Surely I won't exacerbate them severely. Just give it a try.
I think I kind of believed that too at the time. Plus, her other male friends generally didn't say anything about her because they were all thirsty AF. We're nerds in programming. What do you expect?
I like how we go from they to we right there. I'm seeing some cracks in the armor, that's all I'm saying.
I didn't want to ruin my thirsty classmates' chances.
As if you had a shot at that at all.
Which she, of course, was pretty happy about. I regretted it because now I was the one sent to the doghouse.
What? I don't think you could be in the doghouse if you're not in a relationship.
She was gloating and basking in my misery at that point. Went from being sad and disappointed and thinking she was not good enough because I didn't ask her out into like almost a sadistic state.
Again, I don't think any of this is actually happening. Did she say any of these things? Or are we just still in the headcanon?
I guess my regret was seen as more validation to her. I found it baffling how someone who complained about her boyfriend not showing her enough empathy and abusing her could go and do the same thing to others.
Yeah, hurt people, if that's actually what happened here. And of course, this loon is still like,
yeah, I can fix her. I can turn it all around. I think this explanation makes sense, though. It's an MMA fighter who was picked on as a kid, talking about bullies becoming abusive because they learn it from their parents.
What the hell does that even mean? I'm totally not following these lines of logic.
I think it's not out of the question that people can get that from fractured relationship with their significant other. She treated her friends better than the men she got into relationships with. Although naive about other people's feeling, she was generally kind and sweet to me before this.
I don't think she was. I think she gave you common courtesy, and you read far too much into it. And then you started to get too close and creepy, and she got yucked out. She started to try and push you away without actually coming out and saying that she's pushing you away, because people like you have a tendency to react violently when they are outright rejected, as we've seen so many times before. I am picking through the muck. I'm forming the actual narrative here, I'm pretty sure.
At college grad night, we all got pretty drunk.
Yeah, good combination there.
I felt like I was on the verge of a mental breakdown at this point.
Best time to go drinking.
I already had work burnout from college, from stressful shift work job, and it started to come back in these last few months.
Stressful shift work job. What is your job?
I don't know. I work at a job place where people go and get paychecks. My mom's definitely not paying all my bills, if that's what you're saying.
I'm pretty sure this dude's an alien.
Some minor issues at home at this time as well.
Because mom's sick of paying all your bills.
But they were not a big deal. It just all snowballed from all sides.
The part that scares me is he's really setting up the situation, trying to justify himself in advance. So go ahead there, fella. Let the hammer drop.
At the end of the night, she was pretty wasted and still pretty proud of herself. She went up to me, tousled my hair, and said to me in a patronizing tone, in what I believe was a final act of revenge, "You know, you're a nice guy, and I would like you to be my friend."
What? She's drunk, she's feeling chummy. But this guy, he's feeling nothing but vindictive. The alcohol only makes that worse. And so again, he's inferring his own meaning.
She then got up, pointed and yelled at another guy I knew from across the room who got her number. "Call me." Maybe I was being paranoid.
Yeah, maybe.
And this friending was well intended, but given her recent behavior, it just felt like a way to spite me. A final dagger in the back.
I know this might come as a shock to you, but not everything that everyone does is directed at you. I'm starting to get some Elliot Rodger manifesto vibes from this one, I'll tell you. Please seek therapy as soon as possible.
The guy who got her number didn't last 2 days with her. Maybe he seemed more attractive when she was drunk. A dude was sad for a few months. I don't know if she used him to spite me, or if it was actually well intended on her part.
How are you this delusional? Yeah, she dumped that guy just to spite you. She went to Starbucks and ordered a vanilla bean frappuccino because she knows that you like them, and we could have drinking that together. Why is life so cruel?
The thing is that in my attitude at the time, everything she did seemed like it was aimed to spite me.
Yeah, that's not just an attitude, sir. That is a mental illness. I'm serious. Talk to somebody about it.
It may have just felt like that at the time because that's the lens that I was seeing things through. It's tough to see things objectively when you're stressed.
Oh, he's just stressed. He's just been stressed. Definitely take everything out of context and project your emotions onto other people because you're stressed. It's normal, it's fine.
Luckily, I had some friends to back me up. They pretty much tried to convince me that she was a horrible, narcissistic human being while at a party that she was not invited to, but not before letting me know how pathetic I was for still believing in her.
There are myriad reasons I would call you pathetic. That's not at the top of the list.
A month later, we all had a barbecue for the company that we wrote the program for. She was there, and you could tell she was having her own nervous breakdown.
Yep, totally not projection there. We're both having nervous breakdowns at the same time. That's how I know we're meant to be.
No more men to flirt with now that she had a real job. I'll get to the trouble she caused there later. I was being a moron again and assumed that maybe she had changed.
Aw, you were stressed? That's why you did these things? It's okay, guys, he's stressed. Let's give him a pass, huh?
She seemed to show remorse or some kind of regret. I, a friend of ours, and her all went out one night. I think I was the one who organized it.
Yeah, I don't think she would volunteer for this willingly.
It was a stupid mistake looking back on it. I still had faith that things could go somewhere, or that I could make things up somehow. That I still owed her something because I felt guilty and belittled.
About what? It's so non-specific, it's driving me crazy. I just have to presume everything. Fill in all the gaps. This is the worst written post I've ever seen. And that's saying a lot.
She, on the other hand, came there hoping I was, again, the confident, funny, and charming guy that she had first met, before I let her walk all over me and send me on a guilt trip.
Dude, what the fuck? What are you talking about? This all stems from the fact that you didn't ask her out when you presumed that she wanted you to. We are jumping through a lot of hoops today.
Really, I was probably closer to the mental and physical state to that of a meth addict by now.
How familiar are you with that mental state? Because these are not sober lines of logic, okay? You overhear her and her friend talking and you're like, she's secretly talking to me. She's putting thoughts inside my head. That's a meth addict's way of thinking. And it's not because you're stressed. It's because you smoke drain cleaner.
And she let me know it by shitting on me some more.
She let you know that she was hoping you were the confident, funny, whatever guy by crapping on you some more. Does this make any sense to anybody else? We're saying like completely diametrically opposed things one sentence apart. Who's buying this? Nobody's buying this.
Took a group selfie and proceeded on talking on how creepy and pathetic I looked in it. Probably had like 10 hours of sleep that entire week.
Yeah, he's twacked out of his mind for sure.
This was her way of improving her boyfriends, not by encouraging or supporting, but by insulting and nagging.
That's never gonna work. But she young, you know? She hasn't got all that figured out yet. Maybe you find a woman closer to your age and stand a better chance of that, if that's really what you're looking for. But I don't even think women his age will look his way. He wants to talk like he's some sort of pickup artist, but yeah, he is a creep. It's been established.
When I told her how some of the guys at the party she was not invited to thought she was batshit crazy, she bit her lower lip in a masochistic way and wanted to know which ones.
Now he's like trying to instill fear.
She's totally masochistic, guys, watch out.
This is so dumb.
She liked one of the guys that did not put up with her bullshit and treated her like garbage and called her out on all her needy crap. Seemed to find it hot. He had the confidence not to put up with it at all, so I guess that makes sense.
What happened to your confidence, OP? I thought you were supposed to be the confident, funny guy. I guess that guy's just more confident than you. Not exactly a feat, from what I could tell.
I had to drive her home, and when she commenced on telling me how sad and lonely she was, yup, now that I did not measure up, I had turned into her full-blown emotional tampon.
Emotional tampon? If there's one thing that I want to take away from this story, it's that turn of phrase. It's beautiful.
The guy she had no more respect for, but was still good enough to listen to her problems.
Yeah, and that's a two-way street. You stuck around and listen in hope that you might get a crumb of coochie, a pinch of punani, a fragment of fanny, a speck of slit, a vestige of vagina, if you will.
And he definitely will. I tried to share my own problems, but she pretty much told me to stop whining.
Oh man, you love to see it, really.
So I just waited for her to finish whining while nodding my head. Felt almost brain dead by now.
Scientifically, I think that we can confirm that. But I guess in order for your brain to be dead, it would have had to have been alive at one point.
I suggested that maybe she could join me and pick up soccer on the weekend, since she was desperate as hell to get out of the house. In my defense, she is a lot more likable when not in neurotic, anxiety-ridden state. It's a Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing, but I suppose that's exactly how I felt.
Dude, learn how to structure a You're 26? You met in college? You have a degree? You still write like this? We're fucking doomed, bro.
I felt disgusted with myself for the next few days. Used and walked all over. I decided to message her to ask about the soccer thing.
Yeah, that's what you do when you feel used. A little follow-up text. Why don't you walk all over me some more? What a moron.
She declined, and I asked where exactly we stand.
Far apart from each other.
Where exactly is this going? And what are we? She insisted that she would like to be friends. My brain snapped. I knew by now what friends meant to her, given the context she used it in last time to spite me.
Again, this has all been your own inner dialogue, and maybe she was wrong, but if she was, that's not, like, explained very well. OP doesn't even explain his point of view very well, or at all, for that matter. Your communication skills are a dumpster fire.
I told her I had no interest in a one-sided friendship where I'm being used. Really can't remember a lot of the stuff I wrote, but I made it pretty clear how I viewed things.
Show us the text messages, please. I would love to see those receipts.
After a big long rant, I kind of apologized.
I am sorry.
Oh, that's the best thing ever. I love when that happens in the nice guy text.
They're like, "You're a cold-hearted bitch, I never talk to you again. I'm sorry." Can you forgive me? I was out of line. I'm sorry.
I don't even need to read the text messages. I can imagine what it said. I've already imagined the rest of the story.
I kind of regret this because she latter used my apology as more validation that everything she does is okay.
You sure she's using the apology part and not the big long rant part? Okay, sure. Whatever, I guess. Whatever it takes to keep you from ventilating your own skull.
She acted like she accepted my apology and, quote, "we were good." We were not, lol.
You've never been good. Nothing in this situation is good.
There was a Facebook selfie every few hours for the next 3 days.
And yeah, you're just sitting there fapping your F5 key.
What did she post next? Who liked it?
Go touch some grass, weirdo.
All this did get her to finally drop her abusive longtime boyfriend, though, so I guess that's a positive.
Yeah, you totally saved her from herself, dude.
Last I heard, she flirted with a guy at work. got tired of him after she dumped her first boyfriend, finally, and then ghosted the work guy, who was now confused how this hot girl that flirted with him yesterday now won't even face him. Same as Mike and me,
Me, myself, and Mike. Just one trip through spell check would have improved this immensely.
He kept approaching her at his own peril. She made a Facebook post asking people what she should do.
I mean, that's proof positive that she loves the attention if she did it. But really, if that's the case, disengage. Like, it's not that hard. She seemingly doesn't want anything to do with you, and you say, great, me either, bye.
Personally, I think she didn't want to take his fate into her own hands, so she handed the decision to a rampant bunch of thirsty men, friends, for a trial by social media, who she knew would scream off with his head to create less competition among them. They did. Lost his job. Deserved on his part? Just another casualty? Question mark?
Who cares? I certainly don't. It's interesting to me how you're like, oh, these other guys followed her around and it was super weird, but here you are, stalking the Facebook, keeping up on all the greatest drama that nobody could give a shit about. Especially not me. Especially when it's explained this poorly. If you made it this far in the video, God bless you, you know?
I still feel dirty for letting her walk all over me, but also because I kind of did this to myself.
See, he's got like just a flicker of self-reflection. But that alone is not enough to turn this fucking thing around.
I didn't follow my instinct telling me to stay away. One head said no, but the other head screamed yes. Don't think with your dick, I guess.
You're 26. You haven't learned this lesson by 26? Maybe you are just like functionally disabled or something. And again, I use functionally very loosely there.
But why the hell can't I get this crap out of my conscience? Trial by fire. Let the hammer of judgment come down on me. Am I the asshole?
From the topic title, yes. How did you think that you were not? Everything in the story was so weird and non-specific, and I'm not even sure what happened exactly. I'm just making presumptions about absolutely everything, and still, I think that you're the asshole. She's no peach, though I don't know if I fully believe that because this dude is the one that wrote those things. But I can confirm that OP is just the worst. I'm gonna let the comments section go through it. They could probably say it better than I could. Eve of Serendipity says, yeah, you're the asshole. You make it very clear that you don't respect this girl, if you ever did before. You only ever talk about who she's flirting with and a whole lot of assumptions about what she's feeling or thinking or trying to accomplish every time she enters a room. You don't like the way she treats people? Don't associate with her. As far as I can tell, your every assumption about her wanting any sort of relationship past friendship is just that, an assumption. She talked loudly behind you. She act nice or pissy at different intervals. So what? Seems like every situation she's in with you, you assume 90% of her actions are revolving around you. Manipulating you, trying to spite you, trying to make you like her. Sounds like her life isn't together. I'm sorry for her that you're in it. God damn, preach! There is no friend zone. You haven't been denied anything. She opened up to you, but didn't want a relationship, and that makes you, quote, an emotional tampon? That's also the part that stuck with me. It must really suck to be you. Wow. Get over yourself. Ooh, hell of a comment. Let's check out this comment from Master Tactician Alba. You are a double asshole. One for doing whatever you did in your story, and again, for posting here expecting people to read all that. I ain't about to read all that. I'm happy for you, or sorry that happened. The fuck, dude? Go get help. Why are you obsessing over this teenage girl when you're 26? This is the kind of thing I'd expect a 16-year-old to do after they break up with their first girlfriend because they were so in love. But if I'm reading your title correctly, You were never even romantically involved with her, so this is just stalkerish and creepy. You are an asshole, OP, and a creep. The You're the Asshole crowd is out here pretty strong. I think it's basically unanimous here. We got one more from Please Fix My Doc. You're the Asshole, also gross. What the hell is wrong with you? You opened your saga by describing this woman completely negatively. You then go on to explain that you're a crass piece of shit because you're studying programming. You then describe how you wait in the wings for her to be weak enough to actually sleep with a pathetic asshole like you. You weren't friend-zoned. You were never even her friend. I love it. You saw a hot chick that you thought was below you and assumed that you could manipulate her into having sex with you. Why not? You're only a 26-year-old who still hasn't finished school, is a misogynist, and looks down on absolutely everyone despite not accomplishing a single goddamn thing in 26 years. What a fucking cat. Oh my God. Yes, bring the fire, watch him burn. So good. She said you were, quote, nice and, quote, wanted to be friends because out of touch neckbeards like yourself do not handle rejection well. She says that to let you down easy so you won't freak out and try to hurt her. That is how much of a creep you are. She doesn't even feel like she can be honest with you without fearing retribution. Anyway, get some therapy. You desperately need it. You are really immature and gross. A therapist can perhaps help unfuck your head. Woo! I don't think I'm gonna be able to top that one. Cut in that Ric Flair woo. Woo! Now that's a spicy meatball. I'm loving it. Oh, it makes me so happy. People saw right through him. Pulled him apart completely. I'm curious what would happen if the genders were reversed here, because that always seems to be a pretty weird phenomenon on this subreddit. But I guess that's an experiment for another day. If you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy the Elliot Rodger Manifesto. Playlist is right here. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye.
It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.